Welcome to Awaken Health Pod. I'm Jennifer Grogan, Integrative Health Coach with Greenleaf Wellness in Central Illinois, and with me is my co-host Shanna Scordel, Integrative Health Coach with Inspire Wellness for You all the way in Arizona. Good morning, Shanna.
Good morning.
Would you like to share today's topic with our listeners today?
Absolutely. Today's topic is pretty interesting. We're going to be discussing about how circulation is related to health. And if it's okay with you, I'm just going to start with a quick story.
No, go right ahead.
So with it being winter and, we're eating different foods and not having our, salads and cold foods as much, things change. Well, I was feeling cold more than usual. And I had said to Jen, I said, I'm just feeling really cold all the time. I don't know what's going on. And she said, well, have you checked how's your circulation? I'm like, I don't know. That's a good question. So, of course, I did what I usually do, and I started looking into this a lot. And then Jen and I discussed some things, and it's pretty amazing how vitamins and foods can play such a role with your circulation. And I just wanted to share that, and we've got a bunch of great information. Jen, how does that sit with you? Do you remember that happening maybe like a month or so ago?
Yes, I do, because you were like, oh, like a little light bulb went off. So I'm always concerned about that with myself because, sitting and researching or just sitting, like when we're going through school and stuff, I noticed that the legs have a tendency to get cut off with the circulation. So when you were saying that you felt cold, I was just kind of like, oh, maybe she's not moving enough, or maybe she's sitting wrong, or, and so I'm glad I brought that up to you, and hope you're feeling better now and getting warmed up.
Absolutely. I switched over to some different teas that fit my body really well, and kind of my Ayurvedic dosha, and definitely it made a huge improvement. And just being aware of it, and then taking certain vitamins that we'll go over that help tremendously. So, I mean, I was just constantly cold, and I'd be drinking hot stuff and eating hot foods, and I was so cold that I felt like I couldn't go do my work and do anything because I just was sitting there freezing. And doing this research and stuff, I have some spider veins on my legs, and I think that I realize it's from crossing them so much a long time ago, and that just crossing your legs can interrupt with your circulation and stuff like that too. So it's pretty interesting.
It's pretty crazy how the body is designed to have certain functions. If we're not aware of it, then we have the consequences for that. So I'm really glad that you took the steps to make sure that you were being more cautious and changing things up for you. So that's good.
Thank you. Do you want to share a little bit about the health effects of circulation? I'm sure you've got some good stuff in there regarding that topic.
Yeah, I first want to say there's two kinds of circulation. There's the pulmonary circulation and the systemic circulation, which is actually the blood circulation throughout the body. So the pulmonary artery, there's the pulmonary circulation, the pulmonary veins. So what the pulmonary arteries do, it branches and delivers the blood rich in carbon dioxide to the capillaries that surround the air sacs. Then there's the pulmonary circulation. It's the circulation of the blood through the lungs. And then there's the pulmonary veins. Those are the veins that return the oxygenated blood from the lungs to the left atrium of the heart. So it's really important to keep the circulation going for your heart health and for lowering the risk of strokes. And then there's the systemic circulation, which provides the functional blood supply to all body tissue. So then that carries oxygen and nutrients to the cells and picks up the carbon dioxide and waste products. Then the systemic circulation also carries oxygenated blood from the left ventricle through the arteries to the capillaries and the tissues of the body. And then from the tissue capillaries, the deoxygenated blood returns through the system of veins to the right atrium of the heart. So it's all connected. I thought it was kind of interesting that we had two types of circulation, because when you're just sitting there, you think, oh, the blood flow to my legs. You're not thinking about your heart. You're not thinking about, the brain. So I thought that was really cool that the lungs also play part in all the circulation as well, which is why it's really important to focus on breathing too. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was really cool in my research, because I was like, oh, it all connects. You don't think about the capillaries when you're sitting, or, the arteries and all this other stuff. But like you said, when you cross your legs, you're putting pressure on major arteries in your leg, and it's compacting it, so the blood flow shortens. And so it's really important, like I know when we were in IIN, sitting for 8 hours a day studying, I'm like, I gotta take a break, I gotta stretch, I gotta go for a walk, I gotta do something, because I was just like, I'm exhausted. And I don't know if you felt that way, but my legs just kind of cut out because I was crossing them, I was dangling them, and just not being cautious of proper posture, sitting in the
Yeah.
chair on the computer. And then when you slump over, it's cutting it in the neck too. So I'm just like, I feel like I'm crippling up. So it's like,
Yeah.
I've got to do movement.
And
So
it's
it
a
was really
really
cool.
big deal. I mean, everything you just mentioned, your heart and your lungs and your brain, absolutely. The circulation delivers life supporting blood throughout your whole body. And so, whereas you and I are talking about spider veins and just, being cold in general, that is so minute to what other health risks could be going on if people are having issues with circulation. It's often poor circulation is often a sign of other health issues such as obesity, high blood pressure, diabetes, or cholesterol issues. And it's just important that if you have some symptoms, which could be pure coldness, tingling in the hands or feet, swelling, aches, just to name a few, that you do, get checked out for circulation. And, cramping, a lot of the times, yes, this is, dehydration or a problem with lacking your essential electrolytes. But cramping could also be a sign of poor circulation. And so this is something that you would definitely want to get checked out. And then,
Mm-hmm.
talk to your doctor about some of the foods and vitamins that we're going to share that can help you with that.
Exactly. I know you were talking about leg cramping, because a lot of times when I'm on the computer too much, I notice that my hands start hurting. And it's not really carpal tunnel because I do a lot of workout, and so my hands are getting stronger, but it's like they cramp up a little bit and it goes up in my arms. So I have a problem with my left shoulder where the muscle compresses on a nerve, and it goes down to my arms. And so for me, deep tissue massage therapy relaxes that for me. What you can do for your hands is get like a rubber ball, probably the size of a tennis ball, and just squeeze it really hard. And do that a couple times a week for like 15, 20 reps. You can also do like light wrist curls, also a couple times throughout the day. Don't get, carried away, because you don't want to like overdo your wrists and get them sprained or whatever. But it's just important to keep that blood flow going. And then a lot of times, if you don't want to do a massage therapy, you can also get your body aligned with a chiropractor, like your spine. So because a lot of that plays, if you're off balance in your spine, it can compress nerves as well, and that can go into the circulation. So just keep that in mind. You can do jogging. If you've never jogged before, maybe start out 10, 15 minutes. Dancing is really good for circulation, which I'm huge on dancing at home. And then you can do cycling. I haven't rode a bike since I was little. I don't know if I can do it yet, still as an adult. But if you can get on a bike, start out 15 minutes. That will help with the legs as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things that you can do. But I thought the food was really cool.
Yeah, I love it because as much as we say, make sure you're getting proper quantities of vitamins, that doesn't mean supplementation primarily. But we forget, it seems like, that foods are our vitamins as long as they're whole foods and real foods and not processed and not packaged. And so, for example, B vitamins help tremendously with circulation. And so, foods would be the first place that you would go. You would be going to foods that contain higher levels of vitamin B, which would be berries, brown rice, nutritional yeast, whole grain cereals or breads, leafy vegetables. So you've got kale, spinach, all your rainbow chard and cruciferous vegetables, and legumes. These are great in B vitamins, and B vitamins also help naturally increase serotonin, we've mentioned before. That's your happy hormone. So definitely, if you're feeling poor circulation or cold, try to get these nourishing foods. And then if that's not working the way that you want it to after you've done different vitamins and different foods, then you could talk to your doctor, or if you have recent lab work done, you could look at your vitamin levels, and you could always supplement with vitamins as long as you don't have any restrictions or you're not on any prescriptions that could interact with those vitamins. Um, Vitamin C, which everyone thinks of oranges and bell peppers and grapefruit, apricots, blackberries, are higher sources of vitamin C, and vitamin C plays a good role in proper circulation. Vitamin E improves your circulation. Again, there's supplementation for this, but almonds, mango, asparagus, hazelnuts, sunflower seeds, all of these play a good role. Olives, nuts, pumpkin seeds are great sources of vitamin E. And again, these are great food. These are whole foods. Oranges, ginger root, garlic, cayenne, watermelon, and then salmon and avocados. The omega-3s in the salmon and avocados is very good as well for circulation. So there's plenty more, but this is just to name a few. And the last two I would mention would be potassium and vitamin B6.
Okay. I know, too, we talked about this in the whole sugar talk, but you want to reduce your sugar intake because the high insulin levels corrodes your arteries and blood vessels. So that's really important to keep in mind, too. The caffeine, we talked about caffeine before. That constricts the blood vessels and increases the stress hormone cortisol.
Yep.
So it's really important to lower the caffeine.
Yes.
Did you mention garlic? That's a natural blood thinner.
Yeah, and it's also a natural antibiotic too. I mean, obviously in small doses, but just increasing your garlic intake is so good for you in so many ways.
Yes. And then, let's see, what else was I thinking? Oh, and then it's considered a healthy fats. Like I think you mentioned avocados. So healthy fats, what they do is they help to lower unhealthy fats called triglycerides in the blood. So that reduces the blood pressure within the blood and reduces your risk for clots.
Exactly.
So that's a big one too. So I always ask my clients, are you getting enough healthy fats? I'm not talking about the bacon, the cheeseburgers. I'm talking about the avocados and everything else you mentioned,
avocados,
like pumpkin
cheese,
seeds,
nuts, right?
Yeah. And then another supplement is magnesium.
Absolutely.
Because 87% of people are deficient in this mineral. And it's really important to use it for the heart muscle and helps the vascular system. But make sure you have a good amount of calcium for the proper absorption to go with it. So that's another one to think about.
Magnesium's really great. It's also a bit calming. It can take the edge off. It also helps decrease bloating. It could help with irritability. It can help promote restful sleep. So if you take it in the day or the morning, it's not going to make you drowsy where you can't operate a vehicle. However, from my experience, I do recommend that people just take that supplement more towards the evening. That way they're not, turning on a calming switch when they're trying to be productive and be at work, take care of their children, whatever it may be. So again, it doesn't say, cause drowsiness, don't drive, but I just caution and recommend and be mindful. Notice when you take it, how it makes you feel. And it helps increase proper bowels, and magnesium is amazing.
Sounds pretty cool. So the poor circulation, just keep in mind, due to the fatty plaques and the blood clots can slow your healing and raise your risk of heart disease and, heart attack or stroke.
Yeah.
So just, if you've never had a massage, I encourage you to try that. If you feel like your alignment's off, go see a chiropractor. A lot of that is key right there. Be cautious of how long you're sitting. I know a lot of workplaces have those standing desks now, so you can sit or stand, which is really good.
Yeah.
So, just kind of get your legs moving, and people who are walking around the desk or whatever you have to do squats or something while you're standing there.
Well, and a lot of times with poor circulation, it'll cause a problem with people's balance because circulation usually will attack the feet or the hands pretty commonly, and so then there's swelling and it's unstable on the feet, and so it's difficult for people who are really struggling with this to do the exercises that they want to do, and I definitely feel for them. However, they make these really cool machines. Jen, I don't know if you've seen them, but there's multiple brands and types and prices, but the concept is it's like almost looks like a foot spa, but you stand on it and it vibrates and it shakes you, and it's apparently really good and super productive for helping circulation. It's so
Oh,
amazing.
wow.
I know, they look so neat.
Look into that one. I love getting my feet massaged, so that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and I don't know if you sit or stand or one or the other, but really helps. The reviews are really good for this product to increase circulation. And you would just look up circulation machine, and then you would find an array of them.
And I know too, for those that don't want to spend money on massage, because it can get pricey, and it really depends on how often you want to go. But you can always go to get a pedicure or a manicure. And when you're in there, a lot of times they're not just massaging your actual foot, but they go up the ankle and up to the knee.
Mm-hmm.
So if your calves are getting Charlie horses or whatever, just really have them massage it. And if your hands, if you're typing too much, whatever you might be doing, have them go up to your elbow and just really get that forearm massage, because it's all connected, so you want to keep everything at flow.
And these days, it seems like most of the time for the pedicures, it's pretty common now where they do have the massaging chair, and so you can sit there and use that, and that's helpful. And then just little massaging products that you can buy at home. We have a really nice one, and we use it for our neck, shoulders, calves, thighs, and it's helpful as long as you take the time to sit down and let it work on you.
Exactly. I know I've got a client that he goes to the gym, but then he also takes about 10-15 minutes to lay on a massage bed.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, hey, it's so awesome, but do that after your workout, not before.
Uh-huh. I know. My husband snuck in there a couple times and just used that machine. Just skipped working out at that place at that time. But, I mean, it's worth it.
Exactly. Keep that circulation going. It's good for your brain, help you think, lowers your risk of heart attack and strokes. So it's really important to be mindful of the whole body when you're breathing and know what your lungs are doing and why it's doing it, and think of the blood flow and how to get that going and the proper foods, and you'll be feeling a whole lot better.
Yeah, changing unhealthy behaviors will help manage conditions and ailments, and like you just said, being mindful, and also hydration. Proper hydration is going to help with circulation. I know you mentioned caffeine, and I'm so glad that you did, because I also wanted to talk about that causing a problem, decreasing basically your overall circulation rather than increasing it. And caffeine is dehydrating. So if we're not drinking enough water and then we're drinking a lot of caffeine, then we could be more at risk for less ideal circulation. And then there's the type of water that you're drinking. ROs and purified waters are more acidic and don't have higher mineral content and natural electrolytes in them. So drinking spring waters, which has higher mineral content, or even mixing spring water with RO or purified water half and half, is going to induce those natural occurring electrolytes more, which is going to hydrate you more. And I believe this helps with circulation as well.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Is there a certain brand for spring water that you recommend over others?
I recommend even the cheapest store-bought brand. So I know you're in Illinois. I don't know what kind of grocery stores you have here, but here or there. We have Safeway, Smith's, Albertsons, Bash's, and they'll have their own brand, and it will say spring water. And it's cheaper than, for example, Smart Water or Arrowhead, and just any spring water. I know there's different water delivery companies. For example, we have Sparklets here. They offer two choices. They offer, I believe it's purified or RO, and then a spring water. And if you request it, you can have the spring water delivery. And then there's some other, I think it's Ice Mountain or something like that. They're also a spring water. So you would just want to check with your water delivery company, or a lot of people live near a spring factory, whether it be Crystal Geyser or Arrowhead, and I'm sure that type of water is real common in that area.
Okay. I know that you talk about water in previous podcasts that we've done, and you've mentioned the spring water before. Are you concerned about the different plastics that the water is contained in with the numbers? I believe there's certain ones that are okay to drink out of versus others, or does that not matter?
Well, this is a touchy subject because I've seen some pretty horrific documentaries on the bottled water companies, but I know that anytime it says PET at the bottom or PETE, I'm pretty sure that most of those bottles are bottled with the same facility structure, and it's just so hard. I mean, there's the BPA, and I know that when you get water delivery, the big 5 gallon, I think they are, jugs are UV protected in case it sits outside for a little bit before you can get it into your house. Um, I think they're BPA free as well. It's just hard. I mean, first of all, you've got trash and litter and recycling problems. And so we all drink bottled water. And ideally, I'm sure most people would agree that if we could limit that, then we would. But we're not also getting spring water coming from the mountains from our tap, especially here in Lake Havasu. And there's something called TDS, it's total dissolved solids. And this is what is checked in your water. And I mean, I would just say spring water is going to be a better choice for you in most cases than RO or purified water. And I would explain for everybody to do their own research on the bottling companies and what they're drinking out of it. Definitely, I don't recommend buying bottled water and leaving it sit in your car and it getting hot and the plastic chemicals being more likely to seep into your water when the temperatures are hotter. So I would caution against that. But there's, do you remember the name of that really good documentary? I think you watched it too on the water bottling company.
My mind just went blank on that one.
Well,
I'll look into that one.
yeah, I'll consider posting it with this podcast. But it's important to be aware and be cautious. They do make those really cool jugs these days, especially either out of copper or just insulated containers where if you do have a good source of spring water, you could pour it into a non-throwaway, a reusable type bottle. But again, if you're buying it from the plastic bottle, we all do. I mean, I know if I travel, the hotel isn't going to have, drinking water for less than $3 a bottle. So I buy gallons of water, and that's what I have to do. I don't live near widely available spring water, and our tap isn't that great. It's got high levels of calcium in it, I think, and phosphates, and that's something that people are just going to have to get educated on and do some research and make their own decisions.
Right. Well, I know for our household, we drink a lot of Dasani. We go between Dasani and Aquafina. So when you keep mentioning the spring water, I'm intrigued by that. So I'm going to start looking more into going that route for a little bit to see what that tastes like and how it's different, and see what the family does for a reaction. Like, where's my Dasani?
Right.
So,
right.
It'd be a good little test to see what they think and see if they even notice. And
yeah.
So yeah, I think spring water sounds refreshing. So
yeah,
I'll go try and find some.
It's common that I've heard people say, "Oh, I don't like the taste of Arrowhead. I only drink Dasani." Well, that's fine. There's other spring waters. It's not just Arrowhead Springs, I think is what it's called. And there's infusing. You can put blueberries in your water, lemon, oranges, ginger root, cayenne, all these things that help with circulation. And depending on your taste buds, you could infuse your water and flavor it, or let it sit overnight with in the fridge with these cucumbers or mint, and just to get a variety.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Well, I really like this. I've made my mother-in-law actually. She makes ginger tea a lot homemade. I used to just buy it in the tea bags, and it's pretty easy and it makes a large quantity. So once in a while, we'll buy a piece of ginger root, peel it, chop it, put it in some boiling water, let it simmer for, quite a good portion of the day. And this is one of those things where the more you simmer it, the higher concentration of ginger is in there, of course. And we'll make tea and just kind of drink that, all day long. And it's a great, ginger's so good for your digestion. It's so helpful with circulation, and it's natural and gives you something else to have. Especially if people like spicy, they could make it real strong, and
Hmm.
it's fun.
I have to try that because I know if you're not used to ginger, it has a really powerful taste to it. So it's kind of one of
Hmm.
those you have to ease your way into. But it's known as one of those superfoods, so you got to have that in
Exactly.
your diet.
Yes. Well, that was today's podcast on circulation. We'll get this posted, Awaken Health Pod. And if you have any questions, please contact us at coaches@awakenhealthpod.com. And please feel free to share our podcast and give us your feedback. Have a
So
great day.
bye.